Hey y'all. Happy Thursday. Sorry about that. Oops, sorry. All right, here we go. Hey. All right. All right, let's get into it. All right, let me put my um, all right. All right, welcome back to my channel. This is Adana, also known as the Afro Scene, and today I'm reading for the beautiful, handsome collective. Hello, collective. How you doing? Flowers, flowers, flowers. Flowers, flowers, flowers. One more time. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell to book a private reading with me or to shop in my store. All that information is in the description box below. Okay, a few couple announcements before we get into the read. Don't forget to grab this copy of this book here called Wisdom Beyond Wounds. All right. Um, this book was created by me for the collective and myself as well to help to guide you out of narcissistic experiences or abuse that you may have endured. Okay. Yeah, this book is readily available for purchase on Amazon. So definitely check it out. I also have other publications that you might be interested in as well too. Yet again, the name of this book is called Wisdom Beyond Wounds. It is readily available on Amazon for purchase. 50% sale as well too for from today till Sunday before my prices go up. Okay, and just letting you know what's what. So that will be in regards to half an hour reads. All right, so you'll get 50% off half an hour reads today until Sunday. And then also my sprays as well. My products will also be 50%. So my actual sprays, my spiritual sprays, and then the 30-minute readings will be 50% off. So if you are interested, I'll be posting, of course, but if you're interested, definitely make sure you get into this sale because once the sale ends, my prices is going to go up. Okay. All right. So channel message here is they're shitting bricks. Let me say pooing. They're pooing bricks. Okay. They're pooing bricks. And the reason why they're pooing bricks here is because they know that they're caught. They're like a deer in headlights right now, and they don't know what to do and they don't know what to anticipate. Okay, so they're really trying to figure out how they can get out of Dodge or how they can get to safety. Okay, this person feels like their safety is compromised because everyone is now seeing the truth for what it is. Please keep in mind that this is a collective read. Not everything that I mentioned to you is going to resonate. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay. So this person here, however it resonates, whatever social connection that you were connected to, mother, father, brother, sister, uncle, cousin, grandfather, ex-spouse, ex-lover, lover, friend, best friend, however it resonates here. Okay. Someone that was wanting to, we'll say, set you up here, is not doing really well here. They kind of like lose control of their body here, or basically they're pooing bricks. They can feel the tension that something is really off and they are trying to escape that tension here, but they don't know how to do that here. So while I was in meditation earlier, I kept hearing, why me? Why me? So it was like a cry for help, or more so like a silent cry for help. And they kept asking what took, like, why would this happen in this way? Like, how did everything flip back onto them here? And the answer is simple. The reason why me, in regards to this karmic or negative person here who is trying to do harmful things towards you here, is because they chose to do this, if that makes sense. They chose to do this. And the reason why they chose to do this, because number one, they're very intentional in regards to what they were trying to do to you here. And then number two, they thought that they weren't going to get caught. Okay. So with that being said, they thought they were high and mighty. They thought that they were invincible. They thought that no one would see. They thought that you wouldn't see. They thought that you would never solve the case. You would never solve the issue. You would never bring the problem. You would never have a solution to the problem that they were trying to bring towards you here. Okay. So it's more so like the more they pull, the funkier they smell. So this is a person that loves to eat where they pull. And that's just a metaphoric statement here, which basically means that every place they have, you know, kind of call as their own or claim as their own, they always make some form of like a mess, a dirty mess here. Okay. So because they made a dirty mess, they left it behind. There was still evidence of what they have done here that actually kind of brought all of this back home, or more so full circle here. So this person is trying to kind of clean up the stench that they have created. And I'll put it in this way. I'm pretty sure some of you guys may have maybe worked with someone, maybe went to school with someone, and they may have had an offensive stench or an offensive foul or smell, right? But those foulness with that smell, that offensive smell, doesn't happen overnight. Something has to take place in regards to it start to accumulate to where you actually start to smell that foulness here. Okay, so I'll just use that as an example here. They have been creating so much foulness behind the scene here that it was too much to bear, too much to handle, that they're even afraid of their own funk or their own stench here. Okay, which is why they feel like they have to get out of Dodge, and they don't know where they can go, where they can go to, who they can go to, where they can go to here, because they kind of feel like that their back is against the wall. The person that they've organized to do something towards you here has completely turned their back on them. Yes, family room is here. So there's a family member or family members here. So whoever orchestrated what they were trying to do to you here and it failed, they're going back to their family here, and they actually told them the truth to let them know in regards to what was taking place here. Now the family kind of feels afraid or nervous here because now they're getting a lot of unwanted attention. Initially, the family dynamic thought it would have been best to protect, or more so, you know, kind of go along as to what this person was saying about you here. And they thought everything that this person was saying was the absolute truth. So their family, or your family, however it resonates here, all came together to more so, we'll say, approve or confirm that what they were saying about you was true, and it was not. So they thought it was okay for this person to cause different types of things towards you here. Now the family dynamic is very nervous here because they really feel like that they have to watch their surroundings here, and they don't like that feeling. Does that sound familiar to you guys? When you weren't aware at one point in time when someone was trying to do something harmful or foolish towards you here, and they wanted you to kind of live in fear. But as I mentioned to you guys, there's nothing to be afraid about, or you don't have to live in fear, because if you didn't do anything wrong, well, then you really don't have anything to worry about. You know, still, of course, be on the lookout for your surroundings, things that nature. But when it comes to you getting in some form of a trouble here, you're not going to get in trouble. Okay, is what I'm saying. So with that being said, somebody could be born in the third month, which is March. Someone could be born in February or January. So take it how it resonates. Somebody could be 21. This could be going on for 21 years. Someone could be born on the 21st of a month. Someone could be born on the 12th month. Someone, you may have a 12-year-old, a 21-year-old, however 21 or 12 resonates with you here, okay? But there is a lot of back and forth and a lot of bickering and fighting in the family room here that they're trying to keep quiet. But anyone that is guilty of doing something, their plans or ploys will never be quiet, okay? It's never quiet. It's always going to be loud. So again, take it how it resonates, okay? So false person, this person is now being shown as a false person, not only by you, because you're the one that you exposed this whole thing, But also the family dynamic is seeing them as the liar here. So if this is for like an ex-spouse, an ex-lover, or like a friend or a mom or a dad, whatever, however, who had a really harsh grudge towards you, this is who I'm speaking about here. Now, the reason why they had a harsh grudge towards you here is because they knew that your pathways were open and they didn't like the fact that you left them behind. It was a complete disrespect to them. It was a complete slap in the face to them, and they felt like that you should pay because you left them behind. Well, the reason why you left them behind because you're realizing that this person has been treating you in a very ill-mannered way and you didn't want to deal with that anymore. So you decided to take matters into your own hands, figure out what was going on, and you decided to just leave this person high and dry, as you should. Well, when you did that, they had an ego collapse or their ego collapse here, okay? What I was saying, you collapse this person's ego to a way where they're not able to shake back from this, okay? And it created, or not even created, the monster was already within them, but I felt like you brought the monster out more, or the monster was more so uh, shown in ways that most people didn't know that the monster was actually there. So it was actually dormant, if that makes sense, or was in a sleeping state. So they did things here to try to put you in bad health. And one of ways they try to get you to put you in bad health is through paranoia, okay? Mental things or mental abuse or breaking you down, right? So we have bad health here, okay? So they were trying to get into your head in a negative way to create some form of paranoia. And the paranoia, so they thought or assumed, was supposed to break you down to the point where you become very scared and you wouldn't be able to do what you need to do when it comes to life here. Okay. And it didn't work in that way. So someone is actually pacing back and forth in a home right now, a home that they're getting ready to lose if they have not lost this home yet, but someone is getting ready to lose a home and they are so scared because if they lose this home, then they really don't have a place to go. The only place they would have to go is probably in a shelter somewhere because it seems like here, the friends and family that were once on board with them, they don't want any parts of it. Even their own family members don't want any parts of it because they're realizing the seriousness of the situation and they want to make sure that their hands are going to stay clean in this way here. So this person feels like their journey is up, or they feel like that they're not able to move forward here. They can't come back towards you. They would love to come back towards you to, create some form of an alibi or corroborate something surrounding you here to kind of make it seem like that you guys are on the up and up, or you guys are talking, or you guys are on good terms. And that's not the case here. You're not on good terms with this person. Quite frankly, you don't care what happens to this person here, but you just want this person to leave you alone. And you made a big statement surrounding you disconnecting from them and just moving forward here. So going back to bad health here. So again, for some odd reason, this person felt like they were like we'll say the grand pumbaa of breaking people down mentally, if that makes sense, which is pretty silly. And as I mentioned before, people can only treat you based on the level of experience in regards to what they've experienced. And this person has experienced nothing but trauma or mental trauma surrounding what they've been inflicting and projecting onto other people here. So this is what they're getting back finally, or more so, everything they have pushed out is now being pushed back to them here, and they want this to stop. They do. They truly want this to stop. They can't make it stop, but they want it to stop. So asking for advice from the family dynamic here, who at the time weren't fully truly aware as to why they didn't like you. They just knew that that person didn't like you, so they wanted to follow suit. Well, if you don't like the collective, we don't have to like the collective, which to me is the most silliest thing, number one. And then number two is it's very dangerous, because if you're in a group setting here and one person doesn't like another person within that group setting, okay, whatever issue that those two, not even two, that one person have against the other person, it should be remained as such. But when it gets the lines start to become blurred when a person doesn't like another person within the group. So we'll say person A and person B, right? person A doesn't like person B for whatever reason, and more than likely it's the most silliest type of reasons as to why that person may not like you. It's silly. It could be because of your work ethic. You know, you have integrity. You know, you're very truthful. You know, you have morals, or whatever the case may be. You know, you're a little bit more successful than them, whatever. But whatever it is really truly trivial as to why people do the things that they do towards other people maliciously. Nonetheless, here, they thought it would have been best here to kind of blindside you so that way you would never know where it was coming from, but you were fully aware, for whoever resonates, of course, that within this group setting here, you realized that something was off with those individuals. You didn't understand why at the time, but you just knew that your spirit told you, hey, I need to try something different. I need to do something a little bit differently. Let me just go about let me just go about my way quietly and silently. And when they realized that you up and left silently, at the time they didn't know. They thought that when you went silent, you were nervous or scared. I don't feel that you guys were, but this is the perception as to what you gave off to them. And this is why they felt like, yes, yes, we got the collective, and yeah. And it's so silly. But anywho, it's so silly, child. So yeah, they thought that you were nervous, and they thought that you wouldn't ever like come back up for air or anything like that. They thought that you was just kind of like, just mosey on about and just kind of like, yeah. But it didn't work out that way. So it gave them a sense of a delusion of their illusion, because they're really deluded in their illusions here, because they thought or they assume, and we all know what happens when people assume about things that they really truly don't have the correct answers, or we'll say edification or tools or resources surrounding the whole scenario of the situation here. Okay, so they had on their big britches of illusions, because that's all they wear, are nothing but illusions here, and they drove that home. They really did. They drove that stake home as much as they could to solidify, to validate, and to also confirm that you would stay quiet, or you wouldn't, they would have the upper hand over you. Okay. So going back to this bad health here, this is what they thought. They thought they had placed you in a position of where you had bad health here, and I don't feel that. Some of you guys may have experienced bad health. Take it how it resonates. Some of you guys may have had a mental breakdown. Okay. Some of you guys may have gotten sick because you were trying to figure out what was what. But once you realized what was what, you started to regain your health, and you started to do better things for yourself to make that reflect within yourself. Okay. So with bad health here, so now they don't feel their best, because they know that things are happening too rapidly to where they can't make it stop, or it's too rapid to where it's just too much for them to handle here. So it could be a main male, however it resonates. Okay, please, however it resonates. Somebody could be from London. I'm hearing London Bridge is falling down. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, so you could be from London. Maybe you're wanting to visit London. Maybe you're having fish and chips. Maybe that's your favorite type of food or meal. Take it however I say. Somebody loves buttery popcorn from the movies. Like that's the only type of popcorn that you really, really, really love. Okay, and you may actually go to the movies just for the popcorn. However it resonates. Okay, that's a sidebar. Somebody loves clams. Okay, maybe you like to put clams or oysters into your spaghetti. Okay, take that how that resonates. But with this being said here, there is the primary, we'll say suspect here is a main male. Could be a father figure, a child's father. It could be a friend, a best friend. It could be a brother. It could be an uncle. It could be a cousin. It could be a grandfather. It could be a co-worker. However it resonates here. But the main culprit here is a main male that's on the negative side, or yeah, it's on the negative side of things, that are having a lot of adverse reactions because everything is now flipped back onto them. They even went ahead, yes, they did. They went and they told their mother what they have done, or what they have tried to do towards you here. So if you have a child with this person, for whoever resonates here, specifically this part here, the mature woman is older than the main male, right? The mature woman could be in her 60s or born in the 60s, okay? Or may have had this child at 16 years old. It could be spun in many different ways. But nonetheless here, this main male felt that they had to confront, or basically let the mature woman know what was going on, because the mature woman started to become alarmed when there were a lot of occurrences that were happening within the family dynamic here, and they were trying to figure out, why is all of this happening? Why is all this negative occurrences or experiences that is happening within the family here? And I really feel like it got to the main male's mental state or mental mind. Like it started to eat away at them. The guilt, basically, the guilt makes a person tilt, specifically and especially if they are guilty of doing something and they thought they got away with it. You really put we'll put it this way, the battery that they had in their back was it wasn't rechargeable. It was like a one-time thing, right? So once they utilize all of the battery in their back here, they don't have a way to recharge, to kind of refill that ego in that kind of way, because you're not going to fill that person's ego. You just gonna let it run out. So they had a little battery pack or a little 9-volt pack in their back here, and they was like, oh yeah, yeah, we gonna get this, yeah, 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 yeah. And the collective is this, da da da. And yet again, they thought you were by yourself, and you are never by yourself. However way y'all do y'all thing with your, your spiritual or your religious background here, you're never by yourself. And I feel like that played a bigger part in this, because this person may not believe in a higher source, a higher power, divine spirit, whatever the case may be. Okay, so I'm gonna differentiate between the two when it comes to an atheist. All right, we do have some atheists here that don't believe in a higher source and a higher power, and that's fine. Everybody needs to live how they need to live life. That's completely fine. But those type, they don't go out and they don't cause harm towards other people. They don't put people in deliberate situations that can actually cause some form of, harm or chaos to them, if they are atheists from that point of view. But I'm more so specifically speaking about the atheists that's on the negative side of things. That tends to be, just because they don't believe in a higher source or a higher power here, they're still going to utilize some form of this godlike energy, or more so, what do you call that? A God complex here. That the atheists on the negative side of things here, they tend to, walk in that type of energy here, and they feel like, well, since there's no God here, well, then I'm just going to play God, and I'm just going to do what I need to do towards other people here. That's what I'm speaking about specifically. So you have an atheist that's on the brighter side of things, who, even though respectfully they don't believe in a higher source, a higher power, they're still doing what they need to do, but they're not causing harm to anyone. And then on the flip side of it, you have a person that is atheist, but more so on the darker side of things or negative side of things, who don't believe in it, but going to twist the image surrounding it to ensure that people will see them as God-like, because for some odd reason they want people to fear them. Okay, and that just doesn't make sense. Okay, it just doesn't make sense. Like, how you gonna fear someone that don't believe in a higher source, a higher power? It's just okay, whatever. Just like, okay. Oh, goodness gracious. But we do have those type of individuals out here. So this mature woman here has been going in a lot of prayer mode, or have been going towards her circle of people here to help to protect this person that was coming up against you here, doing something malicious towards you. It could even be a neighbor as well too, that were doing malicious things towards you, calling the police on you, could be throwing poop in your yard, like doing a lot of real crazy things to you here. Maybe because, for whoever resonates, maybe you just move into a neighborhood and they don't want you to be there. Maybe they think that you don't have enough money to live there, or maybe they don't want, they just don't want you there for whatever reason. They don't want you there. So they're creating many different types of scenarios here, where it's going to become like they want you to be looked at as a public nuisance here. Okay. So if you're going through that, you don't have anything to worry about. Keep doing what you need to do surrounding that individual, but things are going to fall apart for them here. They're going to be moved out the community. They may end up getting arrested here, because specifically if you're living near a neighbor here, they don't want the best for you. They're really doing some really side eye. So people like, what the hell are you doing? So just be mindful of this neighbor if you're living near a neighbor who don't want you to either live near them or be in a neighborhood or wherever the case may be, because high honor is here also with message of concern. So you may have had to set up a camera for a neighbor here because they kept doing things. And I feel like people may not have believed you because at the time maybe you didn't have cameras. But now that you have like actual proof that they're doing these things towards you here, you're going to come out you're going to come out to be exonerated from all of this. So again, take that how that resonates. But nonetheless, here there's a mature woman here that is trying to pray for the betterment of their family, and more so the person that tried to come towards you here, and it's not working here. So whatever prayers that you're doing, it's really working. You don't have to say the type of prayers that you are doing, but continue doing whatever prayers, mantras, affirmations, like whatever it is that you are doing here, keep doing it, because you're going to see the shift or the changes in a positive way surrounding what you have been doing, okay? So we do have coffin here, and then we do have court. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. We have coffin and we have courthouse here. So the ball is in your court for however it resonates for you in your scenario and your story here. And then we also have judication here. So you have a lot of evidence, a lot of overwhelming evidence that would actually slam dunk this case into court here. And I feel like that's what they are afraid of. I don't think they are aware that you may take them to court if you decide to take them to court, but the insinuations are there. That is a possibility that you could actually take them to court, and they don't want you to take them to court, because if you do, everything is just going to fall, in their lap here, and they can't deal with that. Now they just can't. Like it's a heaviness that they just can't deal with it. There's a lot of stuttering that's happening surrounding this person here. And they just want all of this to end. And it is going to end, just not in the way that they anticipate for them, if I put it that way. So they're already in poverty. You may have been married to this person and you're divorced from them now. You may have been in an impoverished state when you were with this person. For whoever resonates, of course, please keep in mind this is a collective read. Not everything I mentioned to you is going to resonate, okay? Take what resonates and leave the rest, all right? So in regards to poverty and marriage, you're impoverished when you were married to this person. If you were married to this person, you could have been in a common law connection or a relationship where you weren't married, but you just may have been living with this person, or they were living with you, however it resonates here. But all in all, this person was basically like a nightmare. They were a living nightmare when you were around this person, or when this person was around you here. When you disconnected from them, you released that impoverished mindset and you started to make something for yourself, whether it's getting a job, working in a career setting, or just entrepreneurship, however it resonates. And they look at that also as a slap in the face, because if you're one like going on trips, going on vacations, you move into a bigger place, a newer space, a newer environments, like whatever you're doing on a positive aspect of things, they're actually seeing it and they're watching it, and they're so infuriated in regards to why you're able to move forward and they have to stay still. Going back to my meditation here, I specifically heard, why me? Why me? Why did this turn on me? Why is this happening to me? And then I heard also, well, because you chose to do this. I mean, it's truly that simple, but most people are not able to understand the most simplistic things. Most people tend to create much bigger problems surrounding simplistic things, if that makes sense. So again, they know it's any day now that something is coming, or something, is going to hit them from left field. They just don't know what it is. They can just feel it. And they don't like the feeling that they're feeling here. So yet again, they thought that they were very high and mighty, and they weren't at all. Their britches got way too big for them, because they were in this illusion state of this God complex here, when they thought that they were the God over your life. And that's not true. That would never, ever, ever be true here. But they thought and assumed that they were, and they got, they got, they got caught up, and it was like, oh yeah, they got caught up. So now they're pulling bricks. I'm hearing that song, I'm living just enough for the city. I'm living just enough for the city. That's a Almighty dollar. Come on, y'all, help me with that song. Kick the ballistics. Queen Latifah. Help me out. What is the name of that song? It's a movie too. I can't think of it. New Jack Swing. Like, wait, what's the name of that song? Yeah, y'all remember when Wesley Snipes, he created an empire. It wasn't, the empire wasn't in a positive way or positive light, we'll say it that way. New Jack City, New Jack Swing, New Jack City, yes, okay. Hopefully you've seen that movie before, but if you have not, definitely make sure that you check that movie out. There's a movie back in the 90s, okay? It was surrounding Wesley Snipes here. And he created like an empire, and the way that he kind of like ran the city or ran the streets here, people were very afraid of him. But it was for some form of a power here. But at the end of it all, he ended up, things didn't work out in the way that he anticipated here. I say all that to say, like, this is what this person kind of gives in your life. They thought that they were like the grand Pumbaa or the big draws in your life here, and they thought that they can kind of do as they please when they came to you here, and it's not working out in the way that they anticipate. So now they're in a lot of trouble here. They know they're in trouble. People see that they're in trouble. People can feel that they're in some form of trouble here, and people are just kind of watching this person kind of fall in the middle of the street. I think with Wesley Snipes or Nino, I think his name was Nino Brown, I believe the crew that he was running with, I think they all passed away in the movie. If it's been a while since I've seen it, but I'm almost certain. I know the Dutta man passed. The girl Keisha or Kelly, she was a rockabye baby. She passed. Even Nino's right-hand man, I think it was his brother, he passed as well. I think his name was Mario Van, no, that was not him. Mario Van Peebles, he was in it, but it wasn't him. I think he was the cop. Oh man. I think they all had passed away. This person looked at you as top dollars. They did, and they wanted to make sure that no one got next to you or had access to you, because they wanted to continuously keep taking from you in this nature here. G Money, yes, thank you. G, thank you, yes. G Money, yes, yes, yes. I think they all passed, including even Nino Brown, because he was we'll say pre-transitioned by an actual community, someone from the community. When he saw him in court, he called him an idolater. He's like, idolater! Yeah, basically someone that wasn't doing what he should do or what he could have done in a positive way for the community. So yeah, it's like you live by the sword, and you kind of pre-transition by the sword here. It's funny because this person thought that they can rebel on you, and you're supposed to stay put. You ain't supposed to say anything. You're just supposed to just kind of just go with the flow. But no, that's not the case here. I think a lot of people, the reason why people do the things that they do here is because, number one, the most important thing is because they feel that they're that swift and that tricky or that cunning to the point where they'll be able to stay underneath the radar. But yet again, people that are truly guilty in regards to what they have done towards themselves or other people would never be able to stay under the radar here, because the guilt makes them tilt. So they're constantly watching over their back. They're constantly having to create new things or new blockages or new paths and new things in this way here to ensure that they won't get caught. But by doing that, they're creating more buzz surrounding them, which then in reality or in return here, they're the one that has to eat their crow because they can't stay still. A guilty person cannot stay still. They cannot. They don't know how to. If they did, they wouldn't be in any of this. This person thought they was Batman in your life. Yeah, they thought they can just, when the moonlight come out, they can just come out, and then when it goes away, or they thought they were Darkwing Duck in your life. They only come out at nighttime, and then when the daytime comes, now you see me, now you don't. But you seen them when they weren't seen, and you seen them when they were seen. So to be honest, I swear, man. Oh goodness, we got tea here. Like, you still see them behind the scenes, even though they're doing things behind and they're kind of like, you know, um, what's it called? I use it as an example, okay? I grew up in Philly. And if you're familiar with the northern states, their homes are connected. All the homes are like that in the city. Philly, New York, New Jersey, like Camden, all them places, all of the homes are like connected to one another. And it doesn't matter how clean you have your home, if another person's home is not clean and there's a hole between both homes here, where then mice can come and start to, ravish through other people's homes. That's just what it was. I lived in a very clean setting, very clean environments when I was growing up, but the other homes had it had holes in between the foundation of the home, so the mice would actually find way to come into our home. And an example would be, let's say I left like a tissue on the ground. There will be times when I'm sleeping at night, I would hear like a crinkle, but I left the tissue on the ground, and a mouse loved to use different types of things, especially paper of any kind, to kind of put together to make like a nest, okay? And I feel like that's what this person did. They thought they were a mouse. They thought that they were very quiet, but they weren't quiet at all. And even so, you couldn't see the actual mouse. I'm just using it as an example. You couldn't actually see the mouse, but you can still hear what the mouse was trying to do here. And this person is like that. They were a mouse that still got caught in the end. If you think the mouse is smarter than the cat, you may want to rethink that or maybe revisit that, because I feel like the cat is smarter than the mouse. A mouse needs to be on needs some form of a foundation or a border or some kind of something to see its way out. That's the only way the mouse is going to survive. It has to stay close to some kind of foundation. So let's just say there was a mouse in a house and the lights are off and the mouse is trying to find food for whatever reason here. Is going to stay close to the border or close to the to the boards of the house here, to kind of feel their way. Even like New York City, you may see those big behind rats as well too. Those rats stay close to those train tracks or something close to them, because that's what helps them to maneuver to get the safety here. And the moment because we all know that mice or mouse, they don't have good vision, which is why they need some form of foundation or something to hold them up so they can continue doing what they need to do. But if it's not there, the mouse is caught. You ever seen a mouse jump from one side to another side and they run really quickly? And sometimes they just kind of like, because they have poor sight. So I'm saying all that to say here is that this person had very poor sight, poor judgment, uh, poor knowledge, poor awareness, also poor intention surrounding what they were trying to do towards you here, and they got caught. So we have fantasy in reverse, okay? Oh man, it's no longer a fantasy, it's a reality. So they created the fantasy. They did. They kept creating many different illusions surrounding this fantasy, and because the illusions were so strong, it actually manifested into a real life thing. Yes, it did. That's what they weren't expecting. That's what they weren't anticipating here. They weren't expecting their fantasy to come true, which makes no sense to me, because they're the one that keeps reenacting the fantasy on a day-to-day, daily, day in and day out. They kept trying to reenact this fantasy. Of course it's going to come true at some point in time here. So the knife is here, and this is why they feel betrayed by themselves, not by you, because you're not the one that caused any of this. They did. And it's blowing up in their face now. Absolutely. And this is why they're trying to pray themselves out of out of Dodge, but it's just not working in that way. They're shocked. They're shocked that nothing is changing for them. I'm sorry, but this is funny. Because it's like, help me. And it's like, you want the collective to help you? Well, how would the collective help you? If that makes sense, like, what? Man, help you with what? They created the fantasy, they played it out. It was imagination. That's what it was. That's where your intentions start with a thought. It's a fantasy. You want that to happen, whatever it is. Let's say you want to make $100 today, and you're sitting down and you're thinking about all the ways that you're going to attract this $100. And then you finally get the $100. You get it in like groceries, or you get $100 off your rent, or whatever the case may be. It creates a fantasy in your mind, but it depends on what type of fantasy it is, if that makes sense. So you create this fantasy in your mind, and if you are very, you add your emotions to it, and you are, you're feeling this thing and you wanting this thing to manifest, eventually it's going to manifest. So that's what happened here. Their so-called fantasy of illusions actually turn into reality. So yet again, I don't understand why they keep saying, why me, because they sat here and they thought about the evil intentions that they had towards you collective here, and it manifested. What's the issue? So trickery is in reverse because, oh, the collective tricked me. How did you trick them? You're not inside their head. You're not telling them to do these things towards you. They made a conscious or unconscious decision here to do these things towards you, and it finally manifested. Now they can't handle what they manifested? What? Just like what? Oh my goodness gracious. Somebody eating grapes. So red grapes could be your favorite grape to eat. Yeah, now communication here. So there's lots of phone calls. Yeah, some phone calls are actually being recorded. The same person that tried to come up against you or to try to orchestrate something harmful to happen to you here has been recorded. You see the voice waves on here? Yeah, people who they thought that they can trust has recorded them. I don't even think they're aware of that. Then we got manipulation here. Oh my God. And that makes sense. So the people who voice recorded them or recorded the conversation here is using it as a form of evidence, so that way if things do go down, they won't go down with them. You see how you can't trust people? Well, I wouldn't say they can't trust each other. Man, I'm gonna keep saying it. It doesn't pay to be evil spirited. It doesn't. You don't have to be that way. I'm telling you. Yes, you don't like a person. Okay, we get it. Don't cause harm to them. Leave them alone. I don't like that person. That's fine. Leave them alone. Just leave them alone. You ain't gotta cause no kind of nothing to anybody. Just walk away. No, I know. Okay, all right. Well, then don't walk away then. We got redacted in reverse. They can't redact. They can't redact what they've done. Man, redact and surrender. They can't redact what they've done. It's too much. It's like it's like you're writing a 20-page paper, MLA style. You know, 1.5 spaces and borders and stuff like that, if you remember college time, right? And your professor wants you to do it APA or MLA style, and it has to be that specific way here. It's like you're trying to create this 20-page paper. You got all these different misspellings of words, things of that nature, and you're going to try to use whiteout. So you're going to sit there through all 20 pages and you're going to white out all of the misspelled words. You might as well start all over because you're just wasting time, if that makes sense. So I say that to say redacted is in reverse. They can't redact what they created. Is way too much. Way too much to now they want to surrender. Okay. And even if they surrendered, they're still not getting off the hook for it. So it's a lose-lose situation for them. Again, it doesn't pay to be an evil-spirited person. You don't have to be evil-spirited. You don't. No, you don't have to be that way towards others. But if you do, there's going to be some strong repercussions surrounding that. If that makes sense. Oh my God. So we have patience in reverse. They're losing patience. Well, I mean, what they got to do with you? What they got to do with you because they losing patience, child. Yeah, they're finally mirroring what they've been putting out. And they don't like the mirror that they see. So it's lots of grief and sadness here because they don't have any friends. They pulled away. The same friends that wiretapped them. Somebody was wearing a wiretap. Somebody was wearing a wiretap. That's a spiritual message. I thought you was my friend. I thought you was my road dog. I thought you was my G. I thought you was my sis. I thought you was my bro. No, not when it comes to getting out of trouble. They don't mind getting in trouble with you, but the moment it's time to get out of trouble, oh, you on your own. That's why I always say it don't pay to be evil. It don't pay to be mean-spirited because that's a payment that is expensive and sometimes too expensive that some people have to pay with their life. Don't use your life as no collateral for foolishness because this was truly foolish. 100%. Don't use your life as collateral to cause harm to yourself or other people. Don't. It ain't worth it. It's not. They can call you whatever they want to call you, weak and slow and whatever. Who cares? You're smart enough to know not to put your life on the line for collateral. Don't do that. They didn't learn that lesson, and that's okay. They got to learn it now. Guidance here. This is why you're being guided. This is the reason why you're being guided to safety. You're being guided to do something great for self because you deserve that of self. You are great. You're here to be great. And whatever it is that you do, let that greatness shine from within you, collective. You have a purpose here that needs to be fulfilled. And you can't allow things like this to stop you from fulfilling your purpose, whatever your purpose is. Some people feel specifically and especially that their purpose is to slow you down. Is that true? Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it is. Some people will literally give their life up to destroy yours. Sit with that for a moment. That should tell you something about how grand and how precious and priceless your life is. If someone else is willing to use themselves as collateral to stop you from living yours. Because everyone don't see life in the same way. Everyone don't think life is precious in this way. Clearly, because look what they're doing. Look how foolish they look. They look very foolish, scared, shitting bricks, don't know what to do with themselves. Yeah, it's not you. It's not me, meaning you. It's not you. You have nothing to worry about. Or I'm going to get the collective back with what? They don't have any money. They don't have time. They wasted and they exhausted all those things. They even exhausted their energy here. And the only thing they had left was their life, literally and figuratively. They made it their life mission, their life purpose to stop you. They paid literally and figuratively with what they had left, their life. Now it's on the table. It's up for grab. And now they're trying to pull back themselves into life. Well, how can they when they put it up for collateral to come up against you? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. There is a price to pay when it comes to who you are. What are you paying into your life? What are you spending in your life? What are you wasting when it comes to your life? These are questions that you should ask yourself to ensure that you're always going to stay on the correct path. Are you spending too much when it comes to your life? Yeah? Okay. We'll change the narrative. Do something different so you don't waste your life away. Does that make sense? Figuratively and literally. They use outside resources to supplement what they were trying to do towards you here, and it all failed. Now they have this big price tag that they have to pay, and they don't know what to pay it with, or they don't know how to pay it, their life. So now the only options they have left is jail, carried by 6, or judged by 12. That's the harsh reality. They have to pay this back some way. Again, why do they think they were getting all scotch-free for what they've done? Always ask yourself, if I do A, well, what's the outcome if I do A? Is there any other outcomes or options if I do A? Yeah, let me don't do A. Let me let A go. Yeah. Your life is priceless. Don't put a payment on your life. Don't. They did. And hey, okay. Don't put your life in harm's way. And the ironic thing about this is that they had other people involved who also have to pay with their life. Now everybody's trying to reassemble their life and trying to regain what they lost. And they lost a lot. It's way too expensive, Stamps states on Instagram. It's way too expensive. Don't play with your life. Now they're angry. Okay. Because they're not receiving the help. Okay. Whatever. You're not going to help me? You should help me. No. 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 They loved you so much, they put their life on the line for you. They hate you so much, they put their life on the line for you. They put their time, their energy, their effort, their space, their money, their everything on the line for you to cause something towards you. And it it boomerang. What is this? What are you talking about? No, the collector should be where I'm at. No, you shouldn't, because you did not spend your time, your energy, your resources, your tool, your money, your life on anything silly in this nature. You did not. So because you didn't do that, why should you receive what you did not put out? Does that make sense? Yes, jealousy is a big form of payment that a lot of people cannot pay for. Envy is another thing that a lot of people have to pay for that they don't have the money for, they don't have the time, they don't have the energy for to pay that back into. Jealousy, envy, hatred. These are expensive taxes on your life. Do not tax your life in such exorbitant ways in that manner. Do not. Because at the end of it all, once you pay that tax, in regards to your life, you're going to feel depleted. Oh, man, dang, I should have never did that. Why me? Oh, help me. Oh, da-da-da, because they wasted all their time and energy and effort. Now they need the help to regain what they lost. No, let them sit right there and go through what they have to go through since they put themselves there. It's that simple. They can call you what you want or what they want. They can't call you dumb. They can't call you dumb. Because you ain't doing foolish things in this nature. They are. Okay. You respect yourself so much that you would do anything possible to ensure that you are protecting yourself however way you need to protect yourself. And it shows. Peace. Peace. Having peace in your life is a form of protection. Yes, it is. You're not allowing anyone to sway your point of view, your perception of things. You're not allowing people to manipulate how they want you to perceive the world and themselves. That's peace. You're not allowing anyone to disturb your peace. And guess what? Peace is priceless. Chaos you have to pay for. Envy you have to pay for. Jealousy you have to pay for. Hatred you have to pay for. Peace is priceless. And they want to take that peace away from you, so you have to end up paying for the chaos that they cause upon you, the jealousy that they cause upon you, the envy that they cause upon you, the hate that they cause upon you. No, sir, and no, ma'am. Huh? No, sir, and no, ma'am. Mm-mm. 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 No, sir, and no, ma'am. Absolutely not. What they think this is? Absolutely not. Do you know how far you can go when you have peace in your life? You can go milestones will just stretch, and just far beyond your wildest, beautiful dreams. Peace can get you there. That's why they didn't want you to be on your path, because if you don't have peace, it's going to be hard or harder for you to do what you need to do. But these are the ones that say they was telling the truth. Remember that, right? They're telling the truth of envy, jealousy, right? And hate. They're telling the truth with envy, hate, destruction, obsession. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Message of forgiveness is in reverse. How can I forgive myself for this? They can't even look themselves in the face or look themselves in the mirror to the point where they can even forgive themselves. How can they forgive themselves if they can't even look themselves in the mirror? Don't forgiveness starts with self? Again, they keep looking for outside validation of things. How is it that they're going to forgive themselves when they can't even look in the mirror of themselves? I'm just saying. Physical pain. So because they can't look themselves in the mirror, they're the one that's self-sabotaging themselves with the physical pain. They are. Oh, I can't, oh my God, my life is over, my da-da-da, yeah, and who gonna help me? You gotta help me, you gotta help me. No, they gotta help themselves. Not you. That's not your battle or your war. That's theirs. That's their internal war that they created, and that's their internal battles that they created. So, of course, if you keep going against yourself, eventually you're going to hurt yourself. Come on, man. Eventually you will hurt yourself. And they prove that time after time after time after time again. They do. Based on the malicious decisions that they make for themselves. See, the decisions that they make for themselves, they feel is going to affect you. It can affect you, don't get me wrong, yes. But once you're able to peep and see game and you get out the way, you see that big bowling ball coming, but you don't hear it, but you can just feel something coming. Yeah, you're going to get out of dodge. It won't affect you. It won't affect you. That's the part they missed, or they forgot to see, or maybe they're not even aware that their actions eventually, or at the end of it all, didn't affect you. It affected them. And that's a sad way to live life. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Reunion is in reverse. What's the reunion in reverse? Message to pass on. There will be no reunion. None. None. What? Somebody's name is Madison. Yeah. They took all that they can from themselves. They did. They took and stole from themselves. They stole the thief of joy from themselves, patience. They robbed themselves of a good life. They tacked on exorbitant fees that they have to pay back that they don't know how to pay back. This is why some people love to go in crowds or in groups of people, because if I'm going down, they're going to go down too. And now another person's life, time, effort, energy has been wasted on silly things. Someone's name is Amber or Brown. Maybe your name's Amber Brown. Someone likes the color orange or yellow. You may have like your bedroom could be yellow. Like everything's yellow. Many different types of colors of yellow or shades of yellow. So we have shocking message here. Yeah, shocking message and toxic family here. Even though the family is toxic, the family is backing away from this. So they're on their own here, which is crazy. Imagine a toxic family is aware as to what this person has done and they're pulling away. Yeah, that means it's really serious. That's what that means. We got burnt out here. They're burnt out from trying to stop you. Well, where was the burnt out? Where did the burnout lead to? Or where did the burnout begin? With the person that was creating this ridiculousness towards you. They burnt themselves out because they don't have the energy to move forward. They don't have the time to move forward. They don't have the effort to move forward. So they wasted whatever they had left of self, and eventually it turned into a burnout. All self of them. All self of them. Oh, goodness gracious. Now they're suffering in silence, which will be made publicly. What y'all having for lunch? I am going to make me some callaloo. Yes, I feel for a Trini dish today. So I'm going to make me some callaloo and some rice. Yes. So I need to go to the store and get me some okra. Yeah, they pretending that everything is A-okay and it's not. It's just not. Ooh, lentil soup sounds good. Chick-fil-A sounds good. Pizza sounds good. What kind of pizza, Jacqueline? Y'all enjoy y'all food, okay? And make sure it's warm all over around. You know what I mean? Yes, okra and rice is nice too. Love me some okra and rice. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh, deep fried crumbled coconut chicken. Ooh, that sounds good. Ooh. I think I'm gonna make a coconut rice today too. Oh, okay, y'all give me some ideas. All right now. Somebody listening to Michael Jackson. Yeah, so this narcissistic individual, however it resonates, they were doing some form of spell binding on you, projecting on you, could be reading out of a Bible from a negative aspect of things, could actually be doing candles, whatever, however, child, and it broke them in pieces that they never thought exists. And they never thought it exists because they were hiding it from themselves. Ooh, pineapple chicken fried rice. That's it. Can I have a bowl of that? That sound good. Shoot, y'all give me ideas, okay? All right. Yeah, trust the process. They didn't trust the process because they didn't think it was a process, or they thought their process was ironclad. So now that things are reversed, or things are now falling back into their lap here, they can't trust anything that they see. That's the illusion. Does that make sense? They can't trust anything that they see because of the illusions that they create. So they can't truly tell what's truly real versus what's truly not. They don't know. They've been living in illusion since day one. So when the truth finally comes out, they still can't believe it. Ain't that something, child? Baby. I keep telling you, you ain't dealing with smart ones. I don't know who claimed themselves to be that surrounding these narcissistic individuals here, but they don't have an ounce of a fart of smartness. They don't. We have Gemini. We got Aries. Just saying. Very superstitious. Writings on the wall. Yes, Stevie Wonder, period. We got Leo here. We got Cancer, okay? Thank you for that timid Danny boy, okay? We got Capricorn. You're welcome, Stamps, okay? We have Gemini. Shoot, what they think this is? Aquarius. Scorpio. And Libra. Okay? So if that resonates, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Look out for me in regards to my sale. I have a 50% sale that's going on between today and Sunday. You get 50% off a 30-minute reading, so definitely tap into that. Also 50% on my products as well before my prices actually goes up. All right? Don't forget to grab your copy of this book here. It is called Wisdom Beyond Wounds, which is readily available for purchase on Amazon. Your presence is so dope, and I'm so glad to be around you guys. You deserve to have whatever it is that you want to accomplish in your life. And if you ever forget that, I'm here to remind you again and again. Go out there and be freaking great, because you owe that to yourself. Yes, you do. You owe yourself a peaceful mind, a peaceful body, a peaceful spirit, a peaceful life. Okay? Y'all go out there, be great. Mwah. Love, love, love to each and one of you guys that's on the right side of things. I wish you well, and I will see you all on the next one. Thank you so much. See you later. Thank you, boo. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See ya. Mwah. See y'all later. You do. Mwah, 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 mwah. Love you guys. I'll see you on the